As I was saying before, my card ran out, and I think I've made a faux pas again. I think I had the camera lens on again. This Banksy does the same thing like pomegranates does, and quite a lot of CPs do. They get in this almost, look like an iron deficient sort of situation. Suddenly, bang, they'll suddenly take off. Very indicative of some sort of symbiotic relationship. Until it actually establishes, they just sit there in this idle, transient state, sort of somewhat dormant sort of state. And once the symbiotic relationship has established itself, bang, they start going off, and they go green, because I assume that there's some sort of nitrogen fixation process going on there, but we haven't quite got to the bottom of it. But we're getting very close now. And the same thing you can do with casuarinas. You can sit them on polyurethane foam sponges, and they'll just sit there like for 6 months doing absolutely nothing, and then you put a bit of serpentine fertilizer on them, bang, they just shoot off like rockets. Anyway, I found a few here. You can see it's getting a bit wet here, but where was it? Oh yeah, a few here, a few down there. They look quite cute when they're in that small stage. And another one here, and little baby ones there. They'll, as you can see, they like the water. They're like a regular water supply. Oh yes, quite a few here. There's that one there, it looks quite cute, that one, if I can get in on it. A few others. But, oh, here's a nice one. It's starting to come on. It's still, only the size of, what, 10-cent piece? I don't know if the sun, is it flaring? I don't know. Another one down here. But, oh, look at this one going in with a little bit of rubber. Yeah, you never know. Might be part of the secret. Well, we do know that generic Australis can attack rubber bands and a few other things, so it will take that as a carbon source quite easily. Paraffin wax, elastic rubber bands, it will just attack any of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, a nice plethora of moss here growing on the I don't see anything else, but you never know. Might find the occasional U-trick one day if I look hard enough. I just like the look at all this sort of stuff. I can spend the rest of my life just walking around looking at this stuff. It's just very nice. You can see there's one of the Banksies when it starts to establish itself, and that's all like middle mature. Here's another one. You've seen it's been in cones, so it has reached maturity. These are little tiny cones, but you can see the little, I don't know if you call them pods or capsules that come out of the cone there. I suppose you call it a strobolus, I suppose. They'll open up either after a bushfire, or if you break them off and leave them around for quite a while, they'll open up eventually. Well, some of them do. I know I had a hakea that actually exploded in my bedroom as a late teenager. It was round for weeks and weeks and weeks, and suddenly there was this God almighty bang. And then it was only until the next day that we found out what the bang was. It was just this hakea cone. It was only like the size of it, but it was made out of solid yellow and white wood. And yeah, the amount of forces involved in that, it must have been a few ton, I reckon. But yeah, it made a god awful bang. It was like an actual explosion. It was much louder than a car backfiring, about 3 or 4 times as loud. It really was. It sounded like a bomb going off. And I suppose it was, because it must have been like 3 or 4 tons worth of force just being expended in one single moment. Anyway, so